So many people have lost their faith. Whether they've completely rejected the idea of God at all, or they just say they're not sure. So many people have lost their way. Because chances are, if you're anything like me, you grew up when your family told you that God was real and to pray before every meal and to actually pray to Him. You weren't raised this way. Most likely, if you're watching this video. But somewhere along the line of your life, you decided to reject God. To reject that that need, that faith that was planted in your heart from the beginning. You rejected it. But there's also the fact that this video appeared on your homepage. Why? Because if you have little faith and this video is on your homepage, and there is either one of two things is going on. Either one, you're actually starting to consider, and the algorithm is understanding that you're considering this, and you're starting to consider attempting, at least, there's a tiny desire in your mind that kind of wants this itty-bitty desire in your heart that wants a relationship with Jesus Christ and God. Or the other option is that the Lord Himself sent you this video. And hopefully by the end of that video, you believe that is possible. So I'm going to tell you my story. You see, a couple of years ago, I actually was an atheist. You see, even though this YouTube channel is very faith-based, I wear the cross and all that stuff, I used to be an atheist. I completely did not believe in God. Even though I still went to church, I went to a Catholic school, all that stuff, I would basically just sit in church and look at the pastor speak, and I'd literally think in my mind, this guy's a moron. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He hasn't watched as many Neil deGrasse Tyson documentaries as I have. He doesn't understand. Because I believed in science. I always loved science. I always thought it was cool. But somewhere along the line, I just thought to myself, you know what, maybe this whole God thing's baloney. You know, everything makes sense in science. With God, it's all confusing. I wanted order in my life. And so I decided to completely reject God. Because I thought that was disorder. I thought I was rejecting disorder. The truth is, without God, there is no order. And as soon as I took Him out of my life, I said, we're done. And I basically broke up with Him. My life completely became disordered. I had poor mental health. I was depressed. All I did, because I no longer had a purpose in life. I now believe that everything was you just lived and you died and it was all over at the end. So I thought nothing I do matters. And so I would just sit around all day long, just doing bad habits, and just eating junk food, watching YouTube videos for 15 hours a day. I would literally wake up and first thing in the morning, I wouldn't even brush my teeth. I'd literally get out of bed, I'd grab my mom's broken laptop and immediately start watching YouTube videos for hours and hours and hours. Then at around noon, I'd finally go down, eat breakfast, consider brushing my teeth. Sometimes I wouldn't even brush my teeth, if I'm going to be honest here. And just continue to watch YouTube videos. Play video games. Horrible things. I wasted an entire year and a half of my life to watching content. So many summers where I could have been doing so many fun and amazing things, I would spend them on the internet. Only just now I'm beginning to appreciate life the way I did before that atheist chapter of my life. It was bad. If my story is anything like yours, then this is a video for you. Because if you've made it to this far in the video, you have a decent attention span. You can actually watch videos like this. And you actually are trying to find some value. So respect to you for making it this far. So the question is, why? Why did I choose this path for myself? And I kind of explained that a little bit earlier. But to me, I realized there's no evidence that supports God. And so, at least I thought that there's no evidence to support God. And I said, well, there's no evidence. Not true. Made up to explain some stuff. Never happened. All this stuff, baloney, Jesus, blah, blah, blah. All of it's garbage, right? And so, I thought there's no evidence, and I became atheist. Then I realized something. There's no evidence to disprove God, is there? There's no evidence. There's no evidence that says he didn't exist or he doesn't exist. There's no evidence to say that. There's evidence. People say there's evidence. There's no evidence that he exists, but there's no evidence that he doesn't. Wait, I worded that weird. What am I saying? People say there's no evidence to say that he exists. There's also no evidence that says that he doesn't. There's nothing to prove that God is not real. Nothing. Try to prove it. You're not going to be able to. There's no evidence. It's the only argument that atheists and I had, that atheists have, that he exists. That he doesn't exist is that there's no evidence to prove it. But the truth is, there is. You just don't look for it. And there's also no evidence, and as I said before, there's no evidence to disprove it. He's innocent until proven guilty. God's real until said otherwise. And there's nothing to say otherwise. There's no evidence against him. So he's real. Guaranteed. Because there are evidence that says that he does exist. In fact, I'm not going to name them all, because I don't have that much time in this video. We're already at 6-minute mark, and I haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes of it, but basically, there's many proofs that he is real. I'm not even really going to explain this because there's more important stuff in this video. But bottom line, it's all about the timing of the universe. If the gravity was slightly stronger, the universe would collapse on itself. If it was slightly weaker, the universe would blow up into 1,000,000 pieces. If the timing of the asteroid, this is one that proved it for me, if the timing of the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs wasn't at the exact place at the exact time, it was off by a millisecond, it would not have been, either all life would have been wiped out and humanity would have never evolved, or not enough life would have been wiped out. The dinosaurs would still be roaming, and humanity probably wouldn't have evolved then because we would have been outcompeted by them. That's how powerful. Everything happened exactly the way it needed to for you and I to be breathing. Exactly. Every second in history was building up to the event of humanity's evolution. So why are you an atheist if you're watching this, and you are? The truth is, you're afraid. You're afraid that there's someone out there who knows what's best for you besides you. You're afraid that you have to be held, that there's someone who's going to hold you accountable to your actions, and you're afraid that what you do in this life doesn't just affect this world, but the next as well. You're afraid of Jesus. But Jesus tells us to not be afraid. That is the power of faith. If this video did anything for you, just know that there's a very good chance, he's out there, okay? And he's looking for you. You just have to look for him back. What I'm trying to say here is there's forces of this world that are far out of your comprehension. But guess what? You're called to be a part of them. So do what you can to be a part of this world and the next, and live a good life. That's all I got for today. So don't have dreams, have goals, and stay wild.